Good afternoon all. I, Arunima Asi, Corporate Relations Coordinator from BIMHRD.
And I, Ram Dikshit, Student Manager of BIMHRD.
Take an immense pleasure to introduce you all to our guest of honor, Mrs. Suparna Singh, Vice President, Head Minerals Corporate Planning, Essar Group. Ma'am is an electrical engineer and an MBA from IIM Calcutta. Her work experience encompasses 24 years. She started her career working on the shop floor of Durgapur Steel Plant in Steel Authority of India Limited.
In Tata Steels, Mrs. Suparna Singh worked with steel legends like Dr. J.J. Irani and Mr. B. Muthuraman during her stint in Business Process Excellence and Synergy. As head of Telecommunications Unit, she turned around the ailing unit into a performance-driven organization after winning over the support of the unionized workers.
As head of Synergy Division, which is the synergy platform of the many joint ventures and subsidiaries and includes several prominent listed companies of Tata Steel, Mrs. Suparna Singh worked on the governance framework, the business risks, project evaluation, and strategy inputs for the companies. Having attended the boards of most of these companies, Mrs. Singh has experienced the entire value chain of the life of an organization, from the shop floor to the boardroom.
In Essar Group, which is a conglomerate with a turnover of 39 billion US dollars, Mrs. Singh reports directly to the promoters. She has structured the corporate governance and the risk management processes of the group, as well as the synergies common across the businesses and functions. She is currently facilitating the strengthening of the raw material value chain and handles international corporate relations.
Suparna ma'am is a regular in the lecture circuit and hopes to be able to play a role in involving more and more women into the corporate decision-making levels. Her hobbies are music, sketching, and reading.
Now, I would like to request the guest of honor, Mrs. Suparna Singh, to enlighten us with the words of wisdom. Ma'am, the podium is all yours.
I'll just ready my laptop first. Give me a few minutes, please. And it's taking some time, I see. I'll just quickly tell you about the way I wanted to structure this, this talk. Very briefly, I wanted to go through some of the learnings that I had in my corporate career of 24 years. And I believe all of you all obviously will get placed. So let that be a happy atmosphere. Let us all be positive, optimistic, and do your best and let destiny do the rest is what I believe in. And by course of my journey, as I took on from, doing the, after class 12, as I was embarking, I sat for the JE. I was in a flow. I was not really knowing at that stage what exactly I wanted to do, where exactly I wanted to go. But I was more or less sure that, yes, it's something, science is something that I wanted to pursue. So after having given the joint entrance, I got through and did my electrical engineering from Jadavpur University, which is in Calcutta. And after that, after 4 years of that, I got, there were some options that I had, and it was very interesting options where I had offers from companies like Siemens, Philips, Otis, India Foils, and also a company named SAIL. The rest of the companies would have ensured that I had a proper, nice AC room to myself. I would have traveled from my home, and nice atmosphere to work in. But what I chose was a little more challenging, a little more difficult assignment, which would put me in the heat and dust of a steel plant. And the reason I chose that was that it would enable me to experiment, to fail, to learn, and understand the entire gamut of how a business is run. And therefore, my journey started in Durgapur Steel Plant. It was a place where initially as I entered, I did not understand what was happening, what was going on. And I'm sure that for all of us at that point, we would be at the same stage. All of you would have experienced, would be experiencing that. But over a period of time, I think it is how you, the attitude that you have and the way that you are, you interact with the people. I must say this, that as I entered BIMHRD, and this is the first time that I have been to this institute, so I must, first of all, congratulate you for the vision that you have embarked upon and the excellent quality of the faculty, the students, and I'm most impressed by the way you guys are, you carry yourself, the ways you have understood the dignity of labor, and the culture and the humility and the ethos that you all have expressed. And I'm sure that that will take you a long way in life. What I'll do is that I'll briefly want to just start off with a small video that I had. You must have seen it. If not, I think we can watch it again and again. And then I'll go through the structure of the, very brief structure of the presentation. I'll not say much about my companies because there are 3 of them. So after SAIL, after I did my MBA, after working for a few years, I started my MBA. And after doing my MBA, I joined Tata Steel. And I was in the works department where I wanted to work in areas where I have not worked before. And I chose to work in areas where I've not worked before, as I said, and it took me to a gamut of challenges and opportunities, and it was learning continuously. And after which I joined Essar. Right now, currently, I'm with Essar, which is a $39 billion conglomerate spread over 25 countries. And it is spread over from oil to steel, to projects, to power, to minerals, and to most of the entities, manufacturing entities that we can think of. I am right now, when I entered, I was assisting the promoters, and I have been instrumental in sort of structuring the governance, the risk management aspects of the entire group. And right now I am looking at the minerals, where I look at few businesses based out of US and Zimbabwe. I also manage the China desk, and apart from that, I look at the business opportunities in India. So I'll just try again, once again, to see where's the problem here. Okay. I'll just take you all quickly through a short video. How do you...
After being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much.
Sorry, just I wanted to make it full screen. Is this okay?
After being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much. Was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. Fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. At age 11, he was cut from his team after being diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, which made him smaller in stature than most kids his age. At 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being unceremoniously removed from the company he started. A high school dropout whose personal struggles with drugs and poverty culminated in an unsuccessful suicide attempt. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything and that he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Rejected by Decca recording studios, who said, "We don't like their sound, they have no future in show business." His first book was rejected by 27 publishers. His fiancée died, failed in business, had a nervous breakdown, and was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new.
Yes, for all of them. You know, as per an ancient Sanskrit verse, this says that there's no plant in this world which does not have a medicinal value. There's no word in the vocabulary which cannot find a place in a verse. And there's no man in this world who has not been born with some inherent qualities which can be used successfully. There's only a dearth of those who can make use of them effectively. So friends, at any point in time, we are all equals. It is how we use our own capabilities and our own selves is what decides our future and our fate. What do we all aspire to be? At the end of the day, we all aspire to be productive to society, to self, to family. We all want to generate surplus, whether it is in terms of money, whether it is in terms of fame, whether it is beauty, status, and yes, to satisfy egos, we want to be respected and to be successful. You know, this is a common aspiration of any human being, whatever strata they are in. When I'm talking about corporate leaders, and I know that you all are all on a threshold of taking on that leadership position sooner or later, the role of the corporate leader is that you have to unleash the potential of the inherent value, starting with yourself, to unleash the inherent potential of the man, machine, and the materials, leading to value creation in business and fulfillment of the aspirations. Just like a farmer knows how to maximize the potential of the soil, a technocrat from a machine, a corporate leader needs to know how to maximize the potential of the people that are working with him and around him. Now, when I said business, you're all management students. Now, do we know what is primarily a business? What according to you is business? Anyone? See, very simply, I'll not go into a dictionary meaning, or I'll not go into a very management jargon into this. It very simply means that it is an economic system where there is a give and take of products and services of value. It could be value in terms of quality, quantity, space, or time. So you could buy something in Delhi and sell it in Bombay or Pune. You could buy now and sell it tomorrow, so that it could be just in time for someone. It could be in terms of quality, value addition in terms of from iron ore you make steel, or in terms of the quantity that a person wants. So this entire ecosystem of a business is all about value addition. If there was no value addition, there would be no business. And it is this value addition, at the core of the value addition is, at the heart of it is the human endeavor and the human effort. And it is this value addition which drives the profitability of a business, and which in turn moves the wheels of the society, because that is where a person gets a salary from, a shopkeeper gets his dues, the bankers get their loans back. So it is the entire money system which again is plowed back into the economy and reinvested into the business and into the society. So as corporate leaders, I think we should take a moment to realize the importance that all of your actions would have on making an impact on society at large for now and for the future. Now, I'll just quickly take you through some of the aspects, and when I said that, the choices that you will have at every stage of life, you will have choices to make. And how you make the choice, take the choice and take on the challenge will determine where the dots that will determine your future. For me, it was when as I was talking to you, it was a lot of, resistance from my home, that why do you want to leave home and go to a place in a steel plant where you could work in an air-conditioned room? But then that was a challenge that I took on at that stage in life, and, believe me, that is something that I would first talk to anyone who is willing to listen, because that is the most challenging, defining moment of my career, and the experience that I had was unparalleled. I learned the value of man management and learned the application of engineering there. Be prepared for the envy that ensures. This is something which is very, 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 very intrinsic in a human behavior, because you all will be entering into as a more privileged class, and there would be people before you who would have waited for years, maybe diploma holders, maybe others who have not done the degree that you are doing, who would be waiting for getting that opportunity that you are sliding into, and they are waiting to criticize. You must understand and empathize with them and not react, because the negativity is not against you. The negativity is against the environment that creates this inequality according to them. Managing older generation at work, you will find at every stage there will be a lot of a different age group of people who are there, who are working with you, who are working for you, and how you interact with them and how you empathize with them with humility, with modesty, is something that will take you a long way. When I was in the work, when I joined, after the in the first year, after the first 6 months, I was in charge of several sites, which was it was a blast furnace site, and Weybridges, and SMS, the steel melting shop. And I was in charge of the electrical and electronics maintenance. 22, 23-year-old girl with people who are around 35 to 50 years old working with her as a part of the team. Now, the only thing I could do was that learn from them, and the art of leading the people while learning from them is something that, unless you experience, it's very difficult to share. So you have to join hands with them, work with them, be sensitive to the needs and to the egos. Eliminate the barriers. I have mentioned it here separately. Eliminate the barriers, the hierarchy, just be another member of the team and help get things done. When I joined Tata Steel after my MBA stint, I realized that that was a different ballgame altogether, because I was getting into a role which was parallel, which means that there are peers who are waiting to test me, who are critical, who are skeptical, and who are waiting to find faults, and they are not the same as the people who are where I was into a management category and I was rising up the ranks, like in SAIL. So there you have to make an effort of building relationships, to be sincere, to be totally focused, and in the process earn the trust of the people around you. It is important to be generous enough to share recognition and reward. When I I greet the person who cleans my table and cleans my room and the teacup that I have, and I greet him by his name in the morning and thank him for what he's doing. I can see the pleasure and the pride in his face that he feels that he's doing something important enough. So just let's be, understanding to this little needs of people, and I tell you that there will be people who will be wanting to work with you and be a part of your team and to lend their services for you. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Initially, in any meeting that I used to go to, or any discussions, I used to be quiet, thinking that I'll ask the question later on, or perhaps this is something that will already be asked by someone else, and I need not make a fool of myself. But, as I see today's youngsters, and I also analyze that, and I would like to share that with you, that having done some homework yourself and asking the right questions makes a huge impact and gets you noticed instantly. It's a very smart way of getting noticed, provided you ask the right questions, provided you are not challenging someone, provided you are giving some value add and value inputs to the discussions that is on. So it is important that we need not be hesitant to ask questions. Of course, always be an active listener and learner. Be respectful, have empathy for all. Now, in this place of voice your opinion and thoughts, it's different from asking questions. Now, when I was in Tata Steel and I was inside the works, we used to have quarterly or I think 6 monthly discussions with the managing director. And at that time, Dr. Rani was the managing director of Tata Steel. And a room full of people, I could not stop myself from telling him that, sir, you are taking so many ladies in the works and so many ladies are there in the works. There are no facilities, washroom facilities separately for ladies. You see, there are many people, many girls who have worked before me also, but no one took it up in a manner which was, which added perhaps, as an input. Dr. Rani was silent for a minute, and then he said that, how come no one talked about it before? And gradually over a period of time, I can tell you that a lot of efforts had been taken for making those changes. So little things actually, what you point out, what you discuss, adds value. And let me tell you that when Dr. Rani was searching for a technical assistant, and I was just about a year, not even a year old in Tata Steel, I was called among hundreds of people to go for an interview, to appear for an interview with Dr. Rani, because he wanted to select his technical, and it was the first, I mean, when I went to his room and he recognized, okay, so you are the person who was asking that question. And of course, then there were some questions that followed. And I was the first, technical advisor in his office at that period of time. So it's, as I said, I just want to emphasize that it's important that you get yourself noticed in the right places and at the right time. And which is not there, which is what I was writing down as I was coming by car from Bombay, is that you need to be presentable. And of course, I do not need to tell you that, because I see all of you are very smartly and very, very presentable, and I must give some points to the faculty really for inculcating that in you, how to smart write, how to smart, dress smart. Seize all the opportunities to be there in the forefront. Try to volunteer for a project. Again, I'm sure that all of you, the activity that I see in all of you, the positivity I see all of you, you all will not have a problem. But seize the opportunities and keep yourself updated at all times. I was very, very pleasantly surprised to see, and I doubt many companies, businesses would be doing it. I had been to IIM Ahmedabad recently for addressing the students, and I did not find this there. I'm sure they can perhaps take a leaf out of this institute, that you all are reading Economic Times every day. It is a case study in management. Every case that you see, try to analyze, try to see what would, perhaps it's very early though, what would you have done differently had you been in that position? What is it that the economy is under, where it is going to? This analysis It may be right, it may be wrong, but when you are asking yourself these questions and trying to answer, you are building a leader in yourself. So please make use of this opportunity. It is an excellent opportunity that is faculty, and I must congratulate them for inculcating this. I want to touch upon this very important word, that to be relevant at all times, we need to innovate continuously. You see, innovation at a personal level, innovation at an organizational level. If you see the life of an organization, no organization can grow unless they have innovated over a period of time. Whether it is GE, whether it is Apple, whether it is Google, Yahoo, all of them have been innovating continuously to be there, to be alive, to be there. And it is going to be more and more of, I would say, a USP for a company to be at this stage. And while I'm saying this as a leader, as a corporate member, you yourself have to innovate, because otherwise you are not in front of the pack. Innovate your skills, improve your skills, learn something new, understand your weaknesses, strengthen that by value addition. So you have to innovate continuously. You have to ensure that your business innovates continuously. The work that you do, however small it is, however little it is, try to innovate. And here let me touch upon one point which I don't want to miss, is that there have been graduate engineer trainees or management trainees who have been working with me for some time. The ones that have lasted are the ones who have been patient. Because when you read the newspapers, when you read the leaders, don't think that you will become Bill Gates one day. Don't think that you will become Steve Jobs, you'll become Dr. Rani, you will become Nadella one day. No. That is a very, very small start, and every point, right from even bringing the papers to the boss's desk, typing, these are not small tasks. This is how well you do it, how well you add value to it. It is important. You are being noticed every day. You are being watched by everyone every day. And how well you do it. And you have to motivate yourself. Initially, I'll tell you, even if I were in that place, I have also felt that myself, that you need to motivate yourself initially, because you will feel that there are so many, the organization is running, it is growing, everyone is going to meetings. Who is there to take care of me? I mean, I am just, one among the many. I feel lost. I am doing this work day in and day out. But the point is that if you're doing the simple work, that basic work properly, and adding value to your senior by giving him some ideas, giving him thoughts, doing his work well, you all are taking that small steps to a big leap. So therefore, whenever next a project is being thought about, that person will think about you to be a part of his team. The networking that you are doing while you are meeting people, it leaves an impact. They are the ones who will think about you when a new task force is being formulated. So be patient with the work that you are doing initially. The first 2-3 years will be a year of understanding. People are understanding you, you are understanding the business. So this is very, very important, because many of the people have left the organization because they were too impatient, that they were not getting the leadership role. So just as I said, that as you're innovating yourself also and the work that you're doing, you also, as you become a leader, create a culture which encourages innovation, questioning, learning, studying, introspection. So when we were actually young into the workforce, any question means that questioning the authority. But now, no longer, it is more of understanding, it is more of the bosses are now more recipient to being questioned, to being asked, and to being told or given an idea of what and how it can be done better. As I go to the next slide, I'll just pause here that if you have any worries, any concerns, any thoughts about this corporate life. Can we just pause for some questions here? Or perhaps we can go through the entire presentation and then take it forward. In this entire rigmarole of corporate life, and in the energy that we give to the corporate life, let us not forget that there's a work-life balance. Work means you're talking about your career, your ambition, and about where you want to reach. And this life is about, when you're talking about the lifestyle, that you're talking about the health, your leisure, the comfort, family time, your own spirituality, meditation, all of these things make you a whole person. It is important to keep some time aside for that, to religiously see what you can do to maintain a work-life balance. Obviously, there will be times when it's skewed, but then that is also fine. That is acceptable. But overall, on an average, just see how you can maintain it. It is important to, as you go up the ladder, don't forget the people who are working with you. Make time for family and friends. Make time for your parents, for your spouse, children. Do not, and I see the people after a hard day's work when they come home, and I have experienced it myself. You are at the end of your patience, but at the end of the day, please understand that there's a different world who's waiting to greet you. So we must understand that it is important for us to pay due to all your stakeholders. So do not forget to show gratitude to people who help you in small and big ways in your journey. So, 2 years back when I went back to school, and maybe the first time, whenever in school I acknowledged the gatekeeper, but when he went there, the same old man, he is now around 60 plus, when we greeted him, he was glowing with, pride to say that, these are the guys who have come out of my school that I was guarding. Make an effort to give back to people and society in whichever way possible. You see, when I'm saying this, these may sound big words, but when you have that motive in small ways and in big ways, even to start thinking about it, you may not be able to contribute, but even to start thinking about looking at opportunities to see how you can give back to society, it makes a great impact, not only on your own personality, but it also, gives you some cause for celebrating your life. I will, one thought I wanted to leave you with is that everyone has their own value system, and there's an entire galaxy of value systems, entire galaxy of that. You see, these core values are important, and each one can have a different set of core values. I can have some which I have listed out, but you could have a different, because these are the core values actually which acts as a glue to all the thoughts and to your thoughts and actions, and which will steer you into a different direction, into a certain direction, and which will create a brand out of you. You have to brand yourself, because you are your brand ambassador. So how consistent you are with what you display, how consistent you are with your output, with your habits, with your behavior, is the brand that each of you is a brand unto yourself. Create that brand with much care, nurture that brand, because it is that which will make an independent entity out of you, identity out of you. It could be, anything. Like it could be dependability, punctuality, just around positive attitude, ability, fitness, innovation. All of this could be some sort of a value system, and you should choose your own value system. And maybe you all have, perhaps. If you have not, you can. And it continuously will evolve, perhaps, as you grow, as you go up the corporate ladder and your journey into life. So, friends, you are at this stage where you are at this point where you are at the threshold of a career, education. You are formulating some goals for yourself. You will be developing some skills, values, some interests. You will have some vision for yourself right now, which will evolve. You are at the threshold of your career and at the confluence of great possibilities. So I would like to just say one thing, and I don't want to be preachy when I say it. You see, it's difficult to say this, but at the end of the day, it is the truth. It's an absolute fact that I've observed and seen people. If you have seen the great inventors, when they started off with, it was the passion that led them. It was not the goal or the search for money. So as I've written down here, that don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things you love doing. And then, I've taken it out from a line that I've seen, and then do them so well that people can't take their eyes off you. And money will follow. So make this your mantra, and then people will run after you, will seek you out. I would like to leave you with one thing, that be happy. You see, the point is that we are all leading a life at the end of the day to be productive, to fulfill our aspirations for ourselves, to be of use to society. At the end of the day, be happy, spread that happiness, because once you have decided upon this, what keeps you happy, your instincts will guide you to the right goal and the right path. So it requires some bit of contemplation, some bit of introspection. And as the great monk Swami Vivekananda has said, that during the day, please talk to yourself at least once, because otherwise we'll miss meeting an excellent person in this world. So I would like to show you a small clip, and then perhaps we can open the floor for any questions on perhaps areas which I have not covered.
In the last 6 months, more than 1,000 books have been published about it. Universities around the world are teaching on it. For 30 years, scientists have been studying it. Governments are appointing cabinet positions to oversee it. The United Nations named an official day after it. Google Analytics prove people are searching for it. In fact, it's one of humanity's oldest pursuits. Happiness. We are wealthier, more educated, and live longer than any previous generation. And as a nation, the U.S. is one of the wealthiest, most powerful, and technologically advanced. And in the most recent World Happiness Report, the United States ranked 17th. And during the Great Depression, when there was little to be happy about, we were actually 18% less depressed than we are now. We have been taught that hard work equals success, which equals happiness, right? Wrong. Research proves happiness is actually a precursor to success, not the other way around. Did you know? Neuroscience proves that we are hardwired to perform at our best when we are happy. Studies show that happy, positive, optimistic people earn higher incomes, set and achieve more aggressive goals, experience less stress, remain calm in high-pressure situations, are more energetic, recover from illness faster, and live longer. Happiness is serious business.
So,
thank you, ma'am. Now the house is open for questions.
hungry and tired, perhaps.
It's so fascinating that you worked on the floor of your first job. So as an engineer, and it was so male-dominated, please tell us your challenges as a woman. At Tata Steel, I think? SAIL, yeah.
Okay, it's an interesting question. And first of all, I think one should start off with oneself. When in school or in college or anywhere else, I always thought of myself as one among everyone else, among the boys. I never thought of myself as a woman who was an engineer. I thought of myself as an engineer who also happens to be a woman, MBA professional who also happens to be a woman. The important thing is what I am. But then you realize that the world perhaps doesn't see you the same way. And there has been barriers, there has been, of course, some ceilings. And there's a positive and negative also. I must admit this, that while the negative is that one is not accustomed and one doesn't have the, I would say, the strength of conviction to say that, yes, this woman will continue throughout her career with us and not take a break or not leave the organization. But it has also been that if there's a woman who's doing well, she is more sharply noticed than many others. So if you can do the balancing act, and I have said it at various forums that men the support that they get from the wives, the family, is what props them up. And they have said very clearly that behind every successful man, there's a woman. Girls, behind every successful woman, there should be a man also. Choose your partner carefully. See that he or she supports you, and get support from your family, get support from mentors. And I can share with you that if you do your job well, you can share your problems with your mentors, with your bosses, and they understand. Because at the end of the day, they also realize that it's an ecosystem, it's a biological aspect that women become mothers, they have to take care of the children, so they understand. But once they see the value in you as a person who wants to continue, who's doing a good job, then they will leave all the doors open for you to come in and also enter the workforce as and when. That support is important, and I think we need to not show our vulnerability. We need to show our strength as women, to say that this is what I can do, not to give excuses also. I think all of this combination, I think, helps. And I'm sure these are all smart ladies. They already are aware of all of those things. Thank you. Do you agree with the concepts here? Yes. And do you feel that in today's world we are running too much after perhaps areas which are driving us away from our core strengths and happiness? Yeah, Dikshit.
Good afternoon, ma'am. As we know, you worked under Dr. J.J. Irani.
Yeah.
So what was it in his personality, like a kind of different, unique flair,
okay,
which makes him a great corporate revolutionary steward?
Yeah. When I entered his room for the first time, I always saw him from a distance and in forums, in meetings. So I was ushered into his room by one senior guy, and he looked at me. He just felt like, the first impression, even now, the impression was that like a lion in his den. Glowing, huge person, fair, and sort of there's a glow on his face. And among the many questions he asked me, one which was that, what is it that you would, why do you want to join my office, is what his question was. And when you are going in any interview, my learning is that you do not want to show off. You want to be the person you are, never be nervous. There's nothing to lose. There's only one thing to gain. You must understand that what is there to lose is you might not get the job. But what you are gaining is the impact that you will be making with the force of your personality, and the force of what you are saying would perhaps make them think positively about you. So there's just be, as friend and as juniors who I would like you all to grow, I wanted to share this. But he asked me, what is it that you would, why do you want to join my office? And in a moment, which I said that because I want to be in the eye of the change, and that eye happens to be your office. After that, he said, when can you join? I said, give me a week's time, I need to talk to my boss and get back to you. He's a person who lets you do your work. And, let me also share this, which I do not really talk about it too much outside the, in open, is that one day Dr. Rani, there was something he had to speak at a certain forum. And, some very senior guy was missing. I was the deputy manager at that time. He did not come, and then it came to me. And said that just put up something for Dr. Rani. He needs to speak tomorrow. And I never did those writing and all of that. I put my whole heart and soul and felt that, well, I am Dr. Rani, what I want to say. And, the first time people said that what he wrote was, great to exclamation mark and his signature. So that, it left an impact. And as he was leaving the organization, Mrs. Irani actually was telling me, why don't you write his biography? Because you're best placed, because you know him so well. So a very, very, when a person who is a very open-minded person, who understands business, who understands governance so well, he's a leader, and I've been very privileged to work with him. And of course, thereafter I worked with Mr. Muthuraman also.
I want to share Tata Steel. The story revolves around Tata Steel.
Tata Steel, yes.
Mr. Rusi Modi was supposed to be the pillar there. He was the man, Rusi Modi.
For Tata Sons? For Tata
Steel.
Yes.
Tata Steels? Tata Steels.
Yes.
You were there, madam, during his time?
I do not get you. Which time, sir?
Rusi Modi is...
No, not during Rusi Modi. But
You are
Rusi
too
Modi...
young.
No, but I did meet him. I did meet him during one of the meetings that was organized later on. When Abdul Kalam, President Abdul Kalam had come to Tata Steel at that time and Mr. Rusi Modi was invited. I happened to meet him, yes, sir.
I had a pleasant memory I want to share as you are here. Rusi Modi was in London and we tried to call him. We don't know the London time and Indian time. In those days, I was in SMS. So I called him, sir, we are calling from so-and-so. So, sir, we are a management institute. So, sir, we wanted to come to our seminar. So, sir, say yes or no. What do you want from me? I said, sir, yes, sir. I said, sir, yes, sir, we want yes, sir. Okay, yes. Yes, Bola. Then he asked me, do you know what is the time now in England? I said, what? Sir, we don't know, sir. He said, it is 3 a.m. in the morning and you are troubling me, but I admire you. Where did you get the number? How did you get the number? Room, it is up 25, 20, ज़्यादा दिन हो गया अभी. उससे भी ज़्यादा हो गया. And that gentleman came in what you call that, ये आधा तक, ये जो टो तक पैंट पहनते हैं, पकड़ा बोलते हैं क्या सर इसको? हाँ? जो भी है, वो पहन करके शर्ट नाइस यंग मैन की तरह कलरफुल शर्ट पहन करके आया था.
Yes.
And he is supposed to be taking a lot of chickens. That's what.
Eggs. 16 omelette eggs he has. And I think he recently died, I think last year, passed away. A great doyen of the industry.
such a man. Tata Steel बोलने से रूसी मोदी को याद किया जाएगा.
Absolutely.
That some different situation, he left and all is there, we were in touch with a long time. Such a great leader, Rusi Modi.
Yes, and he would give a lot of independence to youngsters who came to him with good ideas. And some people who took the courage, who had the courage to approach him with some good idea. In fact, he said that, please do it and show it to me, and you will have my support. So, yes, you're right, sir. A great doyen.
And in those days, it was a Naxalite belt. Lot of Naxalite, lot of social law and order problem, and there was one superintendent of police, and he took control of everybody, he cleared them up. Rusi Modi called him, and he told him, leave this police, join me as HR. And he left and he joined and he was with them for quite some time. Later on, he became the Tata Sons Group Director HR, and now he is a Member of Parliament, Dr. Ajay Kumar. Doctor to IPS, terror, to head HR there in Tata Steel. From there, he went to Tata Sun. From there, he went to Max in New York after some time. And then from there, he became Member of Parliament from BJP. From what is that city?
Jamshedpur?
Jamshedpur. And the people still remember him. So if you do a good deal, people remember. And he was unopposed. He defeated many of the countries.
Yes,
manager.
He was a complete man manager.
And he still runs early morning. He has got a young man, what he calls the latest star, जो कौन है मोटरसाइकिल चलाता रहता है. John Abraham की तरह ऐसा भागता है वो. He is such a runner. I met him recently, 3 months back. I asked him, are you still running? He says, still I have to run. Otherwise, my food don't digest. Learning. Sorry, madam, for interrupting.
No, absolutely. You're right, sir.
We all would like to know what all the CSR activities did Essar Group initiated in your presence?
Corporate social responsibility. You see, in Essar, what they have done is that we have plants in Hazira, a steel plant in Hazira, an oil unit in Vadinar, and we also have a pellet plant, 8 million ton in Vizag. Another upcoming, it's started running now, 6 million ton pellet plant in Paradeep. We also have, I'm talking about the main manufacturing centers, a 4 million ton steel plant in Algoma, which is Canada, 7 million ton pellet plant in USA, and one coal manufacturing coking coal unit in USA, and of course in other countries. In all of these places, I have seen one aspect of Essar is that they do not talk much. It is somewhere, I do not know, they want to keep a low profile on all of this because they do not want to draw a lot of attention on what they do, and not at the national level. But what is happening is that at the site where they are in, they are employing all the local people. Their wives are being given a lot of training and vocational training, whether it is stitching, whether it is even, training them to be teachers, involving them in ancillary businesses of many ancillary businesses. In all the locations, they encourage sports. So, there are a lot of local people, so they'll put up a sports events there in all the places. And as I said, so normal things of job, health, there are mobile vans that go to all of these places because most of them are also in the remote villages. So the mobile vans which go and supplies medicines, there are doctors who go there regularly, and there's a list of villages where the track record is maintained of how they are doing. So in the areas that they are there, they have taken care of all the people surrounding those places and villages. So this I've seen, and now they're institutionalizing the Essar Foundation, which is there, which is trying to strengthen the work that they're doing in a more structured manner. But at the group level, there were talks that whether we should make a presence felt, adopt a girl child, adopt all of this. But the chairman felt that whatever we do such things silently, let the impact speak for themselves. And if anyone today goes to the local sites, wherever they are, in Hazira, Vadinar, if any of you all want to come and visit us, let me know. You'll see that the people staying around, you'll see a smile on their faces and their lives have changed. I think that is important.